Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Footy Express Show. And tonight we're going to discuss the EPL games that's going to happen this weekend. So tonight we have Shaun, that's a Liverpool supporter. Welcome, Shaun.
Evening,
And we also
evening.
there we go. We also have Wolfie, that is an Arsenal supporter.
Evening,
We
people.
also have Craig. We also have Craig as well. That's a Spurs supporter, and we also have Rodney, aka Scarra. That is an Everton supporter.
Tough
Good evening.
Evening, guys.
So welcome, guys. Before we're gonna start, all the viewers, please subscribe to our channel and also like all our social media platforms. We appreciate that you guys are supporting and watching our shows. Remember that the Footy Express Show is all about giving South Africans it's all over South Africa a platform to talk about the teams they love. Okay, so we're gonna start with Shaun.
Yeah.
Okay, Shaun and Rodney. You guys obviously know that this weekend is the Merseyside Derby.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yes, man.
so before we're gonna go there though, I just want to discuss show the fixtures for the weekend. Okay, let me just go there. So the fixtures for the weekend is obviously we're gonna start with tonight. Wolves versus Leeds at 10 o'clock. Okay, I think that's gonna be a very, very good game. I'm sure you guys would agree with that. We're also gonna have Southampton is the early kickoff. Southampton versus Chelsea. I think that is also quite a good game at 2:30. And then we're gonna have Burnley versus West Brom. Okay, then we're gonna have Liverpool, the Merseyside derby, Liverpool versus Everton. Now, obviously, that game is being played at Anfield at 7:30. And we also have Fulham versus Sheffield. Yeah, that is a relegation battle game there. We have Sunday, we have West Ham versus Tottenham Hotspurs, Craig. I think that's going to be a tough one. We'll discuss that game as well. And we also have Aston Villa versus Leicester City. That will also be quite a good game. And yeah, Sunday as a opposite at Arsenal versus Man City Wolf. Tough game for the Gooners there. And
Huge
Man
game.
United, hey?
Huge game.
And Man United versus Newcastle is the last game for the weekend. And then obviously we're gonna have Brighton versus Crystal Palace. So Shaun, we're gonna start with you though. Okay, we have Liverpool. All the years, like I told Scarra before, Merseyside Derby is one of the biggest games you can get in world football. What is your memory of since you supported Liverpool? What is your memory of these games though?
All I can say is, look, that Everton. I'm going to talk about Ancelotti. Ancelotti's brought that fire back into Everton. That we had rivalry over the years. I'm talking about he's brought back that rivalry that was in the 80s and early 90s. Because somehow that rivalry just died down, man. I'm going to speak about the game that we played in the beginning of the season. It was a proper derby. A lot of things happened which I wasn't happy with. They were like super aggressive, but in a way, I'm happy that is back again, man. And especially, I've got a lot of respect for Ancelotti as well. Ancelotti, I don't know what he's done to those players, but those players they haven't been consistent over the like in this league, but they are a team that I'm actually scared for, to be honest with you. I'm scared of Ancelotti because he's just got something. He just does something to players that bring the best out of them. I didn't like this game taking out our player, but look, it's the game. It's the game, and I blame the last game. I don't blame the players. Even Pickford, everybody's going to go on Pickford and stuff like that. I more blame VAR because if the ref made a mistake in that, then I'm okay with it. Where
Now,
VAR's concerned, showing that thing, what happened to Van Dijk afterwards, just brings up some, just brings up that, I won't say hatred, but that rivalry again, man. But
so Shaun, you're bringing this
Yeah.
conversation up early in the show. You're not the
Hey,
first Liverpool. You're not the
no,
first
look, I'm
Liverpool
just
that complains about VAR,
no,
but
oh no, it's not. It's not. You know what I hate about VAR? I don't mind a referee playing football back in the day. If the referee make a mistake, the referee makes a mistake. But what VAR's doing, VAR's pinpointing like that injury of Van Dijk, right? It was a mistake. It's part of the game. But now VAR, what it does is it points out, man. Like I can't explain it, man. Let's get rid of VAR because if you got technology, use it. You know what I'm saying? Don't be inconsistent in using the technology. But I hate VAR. Period. I hate VAR. It just
Can I just comment there?
Yeah.
You say you hate VAR, but there's actually a stat that's going out that you guys last season. They
Yeah.
say that you guys actually won the league through VAR because VAR was the one who overturned many decisions in your favor. So if you look back at last season, you guys picked up the most points that VAR actually granted you guys. So I'm not inadvertently telling you that VAR handed you
No, you're
guys the
right.
league. But this season, decisions is going against you. Look,
Yeah.
I also have my differences with VAR, but now
Yeah.
you're saying you dislike VAR because they're inconsistent.
I will tell you why I hate VAR. Let's look at last week's game, Leicester, right? That was a goal in my books, man. You know the goal of Madison. That was a
The
goal.
second goal.
Was it the first goal? The first goal. It was a free kick, right? In my books, that is
Madison,
that is a goal because you can't. I hate this toenail and this fingernail and all this where your finger.
Offside.
You know what I'm saying? That is a
Yeah,
goal.
no.
You see what VAR does is VAR pinpoints and then VAR during the game. As you as a player, it affects the players as well, and it takes away Leicester won that game clean and fair and square. It takes away Leicester's victory, man. Like it's VAR. VAR gets the attention, and that's what I don't like. Because VAR made that is a goal. No matter how we look at it, that is not offside. Well, one of the players were offside. Madison took the free kick. One of the players they say was offside. Apparently his arm, whatever, but it's not offside. That is just my take on it. But I'm saying VAR.
but
I
look,
just hate.
that is the way football is going, and we as supporters have to accept it all over the world. And look, I also get very frustrated with. I'm not sure that these guys in that room basically knows the rules. I personally think, and I believe, I don't think that guys even played the game. I think they go to you go for learners classes when you go do your learners for your car, and then you must go study what the rules are. You understand? I don't think they ever played the game. They don't have compassion about the game. They're just there like a robot. Right now, I see that. Okay, that guy. How can you give an offside for your hand? I mean, there was goals overturned because of a hand. The hand is not even part of part of the goal.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's part of the game. We have to accept it. They're not going to take it away. But Scarra, I want to discuss. Shaun said a lot of things about your manager.
Listen, I've just had a very big argument, and you know how it goes on football chat, WhatsApp groups. The people, the Oaks are leaving because of disagreements and because we are not allowed to criticize our players, not allowed to criticize the managers. But, if you have an opinion, you need to be you must back your opinion, but it needs to be respected. So, coming back to the derby, I think this is the 235th or 36th derby. we haven't really been successful
Yeah, no,
at Anfield for a very long time. I think it's
I've
over a
got the
decade
stats
now,
here.
and there is some sort of silent belief that if it's not going to be tomorrow afternoon, it might not be. You know what I mean? This is a business of opportunity now for to really capitalize on Liverpool's supposedly form currently and our away form. But again, it's a derby match. That it means nothing. Form means nothing when it comes to derbies and things like that.
100.
Shaun, you have complimented Ancelotti, and I must say thank you very much. Yes, he has galvanized the team into some sort of identity. And I'll be honest with you, our best game of the season was the Tottenham Hotspur game, the very first game of the season, because we played them with the Park. And since then, there hasn't really been that consistency that we talk about. Remember, we had a tough run in December, but we beat Chelsea, we beat Arsenal, we beat Leicester. And so everybody thought, yeah, that's one of those games we were going to allow, but then we lost 3 in a row. But I just feel that coming back to the derby tomorrow evening, it's going to be one of those games where we will have to get 3 points. You know what I mean? They will settle worst case for a draw, but this is an opportunity now to actually make some sort of statement. We had 21 games prior to the game the other night against Fulham. If we won that game and we'd won City, which was highly unlikely, we would have had 43 points. So those what-if moments in this league, especially, because you guys know everybody beats everybody in this league. I look at Fulham the other night. They played us off the park, here, and then they came unstuck against Burnley again the other night. So from an Everton fan supporter point of view, going into the derby, I would imagine, and I would say this with confidence, that there is a bit of confidence in the camp. However, Ancelotti has got a lot to do. He's got a lot to answer for his setup against Fulham the other night, and his setup against Manchester City the other night as well. So those are things that we look at. And yes, we are not with those teams every day because they know what they're doing. We can't question the man. But as fans, we can see things. There's things that you read in. I just hope that, like Shaun said earlier, the needle has been taken out because when you have local Scousers playing in the derby, I mean, how many Scousers are going to be playing tomorrow night? Tom Davis has one. Is Henderson? Who else? But there's not much. There's a whole lot of foreigners. And I'm not sure what the derby means to those foreigners in terms of the game itself.
Yeah.
So I would love to believe that we're going to get a victory, even if it's a 1-0 or it's a 2-1 or it's a VAR controversial decision. But we hope that the game is going to live up to the derby fever.
Yeah, that's Shane says Man United for life. GG Man United. That guy, he's a Man United supporter, but unfortunately we don't have a Man United supporter on the show tonight. So Shaun, I want to discuss the two strikers though. For Everton and also for Liverpool. These two guys are on form at the moment, and they're the ones that actually scoring goals for both teams. Okay, that is obviously Calvin Lewin and Salah.
Yeah.
Now, so Shaun, what do you think of these two guys? Are they similar? Obviously, why are they scoring this season so much? Obviously, Salah been scoring since Liverpool. But what do you think? I don't want you to say anything about Salah. I want your honest opinion about Calvin Lewin.
Okay. I wanted to touch something, and it's gonna relate it to Calvin Lewin as well. You see, when it comes to the game tomorrow,
Is that my cousin though? Eh?
if Liverpool,
We should cover. It looks a bit like that.
Please don't get me wrong, but yeah, he's not my cousin. He's not related.
Tomorrow night against Everton, Liverpool needs to be perfect, because if our backline is still not 100%. We're still playing with midfielders now. A lot of Liverpool supporters are not happy with Liverpool. I'm going to tell you straight, I'm a Liverpool supporter. I'm very happy with my club where they are. And since Van Dijk and losing our whole backline, our whole team had to change. Basically, you're changing the identity of the team. What I'm scared of Calvert-Lewin is he reminds me of Harry Kane in a sense. And he's somebody, he's going to, if we make any mistake at the back, that boy's going to punish us. There's another boy as well. A lot of people don't rate him, Richarlison, right? He's aggressive. But also a player that you watch out for as well. So if Liverpool is not perfect tomorrow, if like Scarra just said, a controversial decision and all, we mustn't even there's no room for any decision to be made for tomorrow night's game. And I believe it's gonna be aggressive. I believe tomorrow night's game we're gonna come against an Everton side that basically we need to get them back, because that's the way, because of the last game, of what happened on the last game. So that is one player we're going to have to keep out, but I'm so scared. I'm going to be honest with you, with our back line, with Henderson being at the back, our new boy Kabak, with Alisson not trusting, in a football game when your goalkeeper don't trust your back line, that's when mistakes happen. So, yeah, that is one player we're just going to have to keep off. That's if we play a perfect game. And that's the only way we're going to keep Calvert-Lewin out of the game.
So, Rodney, what do you say about Salah, though? I mean, he's been consistent since Liverpool. He signed for Liverpool. He's, for me, I don't know. I don't like playing against him. But I think if you obviously play very physical against Salah, I think he doesn't. He gets in your pocket. So, what do you think of Salah?
Look, I'll be honest with you. He's one of those players. He's like a Harry Kane, man. They can drift out of a game for about 80 minutes and just that bit of magic. He just needs one ball on the left to cut inside and then score and do some magic. That is what he does. And there's a big difference between himself and Calvert-Lewin, because they use him more as a target man, getting the ball to his feet. However, Salah is more someone that is going to take you on. But my only criticism with Salah is that his decision making at times are very poor. And that alienates the team with something like Mane or one of the other strikers. Because I've seen it in the last couple of games. He does things his way. And sometimes he will not play according to what the team wants. And those are the crucial decisions that... And yet he scores, eh? He scores brilliant goals. I mean, this goal that he scored against Leicester last week, but it gets undone by 3 or 4 goals. Whereas he could have played Salah earlier. Mane and Firmino early into those games to have won them the game or to himself. But otherwise, he's a top striker. He's world class, and he's one of those players that can bring that extra dimension in terms of goals anywhere at any time. But if you're physical against him, you will be able to keep him quiet a long time.
So let's go to Wolfie. Obviously, have a big game going. Manchester City and Arsenal. I'll be honest with you. It's going to be a very tough game for Arsenal because City is actually beating everyone. So I'm sure that you won't feel bad if City basically win Arsenal. So what do you think about the game that's going to happen Sunday, though? Do you think Arsenal has a chance against City?
Of course we have a chance. I mean, this is the Premier League. We saw it last week when Fulham beat Everton. But look, it's definitely going to be a tough game. And Thursday's game, we got one eye on Thursday's game against Benfica, and it's going to be a tough game because City's on a roll, 17 straight wins. I mean, that's a remarkable achievement. They first, they running teams over. I mean, I watched the game against Everton, and Everton was basically chasing shadows through large parts of that game. And obviously the 3-0 against Spurs, so they pushed Liverpool aside too. So it's gonna be a huge game. It's the apprentice versus the master. Maybe the apprentice will have one over the master. You it's so difficult playing against City because they have so many technical players. I saw De Bruyne coming on second half against Everton. That means he'll be starting against Arsenal. These are all dangerous players that don't need second chances. They can kill a game within a split second. So we will have to play a high tempo. We'll have to press, and we'll have to take our chances if we expect to get anything out of this game.
I'm sure that Craig, that's a Spurs supporter, would love Arsenal to lose about 8-0.
Definitely.
Craig, I
Definitely.
just want to come to you about Arsenal.
Yeah.
I know Arsenal is you guys rivals, and I mean, if I meet any Spurs supporters, they always talk about the hate for Arsenal. Do you think that Arsenal has a chance against City? Your honest opinion.
You know what? I mean, I think, like you said now, it's going to be very difficult. You need to take your chances against City. They make chances left, right, and center.
Take your time.
They'll throughout the game they will keep on making chance after chance, and you can't let off against them. You have to be on your toes with every attack that's coming. And my only worry with Arsenal is they get a bit how can you say, when they attack, they seem to lose themselves in terms of they need to defend as well. So they tend to go all out attack. Against Spurs, I think that time when we played against you, we won 2-0. Both goals was from counter attacks. It was like they were all in front there. Even Xhaka was in front. When they kicked the ball just from one pass, we were 3 against 2. I know it was, and from the halfway line, they have Son, Kane, and Bergwijn running at them. And they do silly things like that, and that's a worry. You can't do that against City because they will tear you apart. I think Spurs learned that when City went 2-0 up against Spurs, they sort of knew, okay, this game over. Let's just rather keep the score down because this can get 4 or 5-0. And against Liverpool was the same thing. They just walked over Liverpool as well. So, but yet you won the FA Cup against them last season. Nobody obviously expected that. So with Aubameyang in front there, and you do have the opportunity to nick a goal, and if you can take your chances, like you said, then you do stand a chance. But I think it's highly unlikely.
Yeah, I didn't say.
Highly
unlikely part.
Yeah,
I had to put that in. I had to put that in there.
Craig, look, I didn't expect you to say anything good about Arsenal, though. So, look, let's be honest. Arsenal is on a building stage, just like Everton, just like Spurs. If you're gonna get a new manager coming in, you must give them time. I stress every time on the show. You must give new managers time, at least about 3 years. Shaun, you would agree. It took Klopp about 4 years to build a powerful squad.
Yeah.
The Premiership that Liverpool didn't win for over 30 years. Yes. You're not the longest. Actually, if you Google it, you're not the longest. Don't have the longest Premiership without the Premiership title. If I'm correct.
It was Manchester United, 41 years.
So lucky, there's no United supporters that's going to argue about that. No. Shane says, look, the title's definitely coming back to Manchester. I'm not sure what
Shane Frank Smith. Sure, yeah, it's my cousin. That's my cousin. I told him to tune in. The guy's a little bit deluded there, but I doubt that.
Coming to Manchester City, yes, he probably means.
He's probably talking about me.
He's a huge United supporter. I don't
know. Just for a minute or two, do you think United is going to win a title in the next 5 years?
Not with Ole. Not with Ole.
Rodney, what do you think?
I just heard something this afternoon about Ole saying that they're not ruling out their chances. So he's got a lot of detractors as fans. He's a lot of fans that in fact last night I watched the game. They're winning this game and he still brings on Martial, who's out of form, who has been so disappointing. And yet there is that type of decision making. And again, I stress, I'm not a coach, but my God, you know, as a fan and as a supporter, you get so frustrated with the management waiting for substitutions and not playing the youngsters when they have to. So, so he's got a lot of detractors as fan, as a fan base right across the world. And I think he's still sugarcoating a lot of things. Just call a spade a spade. But they sit there and they sound diplomatic. And I mean, those are things that Roy Keane gets upset for. And I mean, they can say what I want about Roy Keane. Fuck, man, he just says it.
Roy Keane is finally on Insta, on the social media platform.
Apparently, I had to go on.
Yeah, no,
Listen,
I love that.
The time for being diplomatic is long gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong, like I said again. But when there must be some sort of balance to be able to say, listen, stop the excuses. The buck stops here. That is why you get your Ian Holloways and your Neil Warnocks and those oaks, the old school man here. Say a thing the way it should be, man. So that it gives the players up there a bit of back, kick them in the backside, so that they can understand my manager's not going to just protect me when I have had a game that is supposed to have been won.
Let's just go back to Arsenal. Okay. Let's just go back to Arsenal, though. Look, me and Wolfie have heated discussions about Arsenal. He knows about it, and he's obviously quite passionate. If you guys know Wolfie is the most passionate Arsenal supporter. But I just want to discuss this team, though. If you look at the Arsenal team and what Arteta is doing, it's plain to see. He's building a young squad for the future. Because if you look at the squad, I'm gonna show you players that he has signed, even though they are on loan. I just personally think that these players are gonna stay at Arsenal. But look at the squad that Arsenal have. Now, I googled Arsenal. Obviously, you guys, everyone knows which team I support. So, if you look at the Arsenal squad, they have the most youngsters coming through from the to the first team. And even though Lucy and I don't have Saliba on the list though, but he's another young player. He's 18 years old. If you look at these players, I don't think Arsenal supporters need to worry about the future. If you look at this players, if you're going to get these players together, I think they're going to be a hell of a team. I just want to know, Wolf, what do you think about this though, or these players coming through for Arsenal?
Yeah, look at some of these players. They got huge talent. I mean, if you look at Saka, last season was his breakthrough season, and I saw there was a couple of images where his value shot up by 60, 70 million. So he is a hot prospect at the moment, and he's still developing. And the sky's the limit in his case, and the things that he can achieve, because I've watched many games, and a lot of top teams is now doubling up on him. You can see the way they close him down. They know he's the danger man. They know he can do something out of nothing, and that in itself says how good he is. We look at players like Martinelli and Tierney. These guys, they're all ready for the first team, and it's just like Arteta is young. He knows how to handle these players. Like you said, the future is bright for Arsenal. Definitely. There's a couple of players that need to go out on loan that need some experienced players like Nelson and Willock. These guys, they need to go out, and I understand that we might take, what's his name, Caballos. We might sign him on a permanent deal. So yeah, it's the one thing that I'm really upset with Arteta is the Saliba situation and how he's been treated. He's been brought back for a whole half a season, and he's basically not been played. So you got to think about the young boy's confidence. He's coming from, I understand he lost both his parents, and yeah, so it's been a hell of a time for him. And now he's not playing for Arsenal. There's been a lot of question marks. We managed to send him out on loan, and I hope that he will be part of our future, because he is an amazing talent.
Yeah, I think your cousin is actually commenting a lot here. He says, "Lekker Wolfie, tell them how it really is." Yeah, no, look, Arsenal has a good young squad, but obviously it's going to take some time for actually to compete to the top four. Last night, we discussed about the money in the game, and I actually prove a point that if you're not going to spend money, you're not going to win the biggest trophies. Unfortunately, that's how it is. The team spend the most is the teams that win the big trophies. I'm sure you guys have your own opinion on that. I just want to know about that. We'll start by Shaun, then obviously after Scarra and Craig, you can also discuss that again.
Okay, it's not just money, right? I'll give you an example. Manchester United. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have the right coach, and you have yes money, but you have to, at the end of the day, have the right coach. I'm going to give you, like I said, Manchester United. Look where they are. Secondly, if we look at teams, and I wanted to say this earlier, if we look at Tottenham scares me for next season. Everton scares me because they're still in a building phase, although they're inconsistent, but the coach still needs to get his own players in because he's taken his own players. The same with Arteta. The same that the whole story with Arteta getting rid of Ozil and stuff like that. Arsenal's got identity now since Wenger. And Arsenal, I think I spoke to you, Nigel, about this last year. Don't worry about Arsenal now. And the same goes for Tottenham. The same goes for Everton. Give them some time. These coaches, these are the right coaches. These are the coaches that actually need the money. You know what I'm saying? Not your likes of Manchester. Unfortunately, yes, I know it sounds like I'm against Manchester United, but it's the truth. Manchester United money. It's the same like Scarra spoke about. He brought on Martial. The only thing I can think of why they bring on Martial is like Ole is forced. Because he was poor. It's the same with Pogba as well. Poor. Then they still play. It's like he is forced to bring on these players. For me, it's like, is the investors in control of Manchester United? That is why they can afford all these players? Or, it's always that question, man. Is Ole in control? But yeah, money, no. Just by using Manchester United, because we're speaking about the English Premier League. We're not speaking about the Spanish League. We're not speaking about La Liga. Look at United, got all the money. Chelsea as well, all the money. If you don't have the right coach, I'm sorry.
Barry says, before we come to Scarra about the money in the game, Barry Muller says, Shaun, we are against Manchester United. Never walk alone.
You're right, Barry.
So, Scarra, before we come to Craig about the money in the game, I'm sure that I think Everton also spent quite a lot.
Yeah. Bradley Miller, it's probably morning there in New Zealand by him now. Morning, Bradley. Good morning, sir. Yeah. You look, we have spent 234 million, what is it, pounds or whatever it is, in 4 years, right? So we've had, well, when Moyes was there, the money was not available, right? But under Moyes, there was some sort of, what you're going to get with David Moyes. When he left, and I say it again, United knew exactly what they did with signing David Moyes, because 6 months before Ferguson left, that smockle move was already done. So, I mean, behind the scenes, we knew Moyes was off to, and he knew it himself. So they were trying to sugarcoat as much as they can, but that was a planned move. We got in then, to get Martinez. Oh, yeah, it was Martinez, right? Funds started being available for Martinez, but under Martinez, we had in fact, his first season at Everton, we ended 4th. And we basically poached him from Wigan, when Wigan beat us in an FA Cup final. I mean, it was a quarters or something. That's the year that Wigan won the FA Cup. Or they were in the final, I think. We had Ronald Koeman, an absolute disaster. Now, it doesn't mean that you've been a good player that you're going to become a good coach. We spent about, I think it was 100 million, 120 million on players, right? And then after that, we got, in fact, when he was sacked, then we got Allardyce in, and then it was a makeshift, then it was, Marco Silva. But what I'm saying is, all those players, and like Shaun said rightly, if you have 240 odd million pounds that you've spent with 3 coaches or 4 coaches, you will never have continuity. You won't have an identity, because each coach brings his own style. The other thing that we have to guard against is financial fair play. Because now what happens now, you know what I mean? That is the other tricky situation. It has nothing to go into another season now because, like you just said, Ancelotti needs at least 2 or 3 years, and the same with Jurgen Klopp, and that is why Jurgen has endeared himself to the Anfield crowd because he knew exactly what he wanted to do within 3 or 5 years. Now, my only concern at Everton at the moment is yes, Ancelotti is going to be given 2 or 3 years, but age is my concern in terms of what then can Ancelotti bring to the Everton nucleus after 3 or 4 years. You know what I'm saying? So they've got Duncan Ferguson there as an assistant, right? But by 3 years, then that team should be complete because you can't go and spend another 200 million if you're not going to have an identity. Yes. So we all want
So
trophies.
Rodney,
I'm in
Rodney,
a yeah.
you just to mention this, sorry to cut you short. You got Everton's got one of the biggest, the richest owners in the world. Wolfie, you would know also
Correct.
who he is. It's Asimov. If you guys don't know who Asimov is, he was one of the shareholders at Arsenal when Wenger was there. And he wanted to invest in Arsenal, but Kroenke did not allow him to invest in the squad, and he wasn't even allowed in the boardroom in meetings. So he decided, well, I'm going to sell my 20. I think
You had about 20% share or something, 25%.
and so he invested in Everton. I think he's worth 50 billion.
Yeah, the thing is this Usmanov and Fahad Mashiri, they are couplings, right? Business partners, So there are other goalposts at Everton Football Club, which is the stadium. The stadium is now due to be built in the next year or so. So for the season 23-24 season. So by then we would have loved to have won one trophy with a solid squad, with a solid manager, and hopefully Ancelotti will still be there. So whether or not they're going to give another chunk of, a big chunk of the finances for players remains to be seen. It might happen, it might not happen because what he's got now, he's got a good squad, but there are still deadwood that needs to go, and I would love to see them leave at the end of the season still.
So Tottenham Hotspurs built a new stadium. I mean, they obviously have a stadium worth $1 billion, if I'm right, Craig. The
Yeah,
stadium
correct.
cost about $1 billion. Arsenal built a stadium many years ago, about over 15 years ago, and it was promised to the Arsenal supporters that there will be money competing the teams like Real Madrid, Manchester United. What happens? Wenger came out this week saying that he had to sell
Mm.
to play the stadium and the debt. So my question and frustration is that why is Tottenham not doing that? And their stadium costs actually more than Arsenal.
I think the chairman at Spurs, Daniel Levy, he's a very clever guy, very business minded. So basically, if you look at their stats from past seasons of buying players and selling players, you will always see that most of the time they break even. They don't spend a whole lot on players and without selling as well. So they sell somebody like this. Back in the day, they sold star players, which I obviously didn't like. They sold Modric, they sold Bale at that time, and Berbatov and all those things. But then since the Modric sale to United, I think that was like the last sort of straw because the fans were very like in uproar. And since then he kept fast. He didn't actually let go, even though United came calling for Kane, came calling for other players as well. He didn't let go. He kept on and said that he's not going to do business with them in that way. And same with Real Madrid as well. So sort of a hands-off, and it became known as a negotiator, a tough negotiator. So most of the deals he pulled off, they don't. Spurs not a club that will pay their players highly like United and Liverpool. They're not on high wages. So that's a problem that Spurs have. They can't compete. If somebody like, for instance, Bruno Fernandes now, he's supposed to come to Spurs or United. I'm sure he went to United because United offered him much higher wages. And the same will go with any other star player. Spurs have the money to spend on the player, but once they negotiate wages, City, Chelsea, United, Liverpool, all of them will undo Spurs quite easily because they will just say
you can't put Arsenal in it.
Even
you can't put
Arsenal,
Arsenal in a bracket aside, please.
even Arsenal
We'll
will
get that for you, of you guys. Yeah, we'll give them twice as much.
If I look at Ozil, I mean,
Craig sounds
look at,
like he's struggling to say the name Arsenal.
Yeah, he's struggling there. Somebody's pinching him in the back there, I think.
You can hear me, Craig?
But yeah, Spurs, if you look at Harry Kane is the highest paid, I think, 200,000. And then Son is probably going to go on now. But if they increase Kane, like when they had Eriksen, Kane, Son, Ali, all of them. So they were scared to increase the one because then they have to increase all the others as well. So they know that it's going to have a ripple effect and they couldn't do it. But now with the stadium build, they were hoping that will now obviously inject much more. They've got this NFL partnership as well. But because of COVID, they haven't really been allowed to actually get the benefit of that beautiful stadium that they've got. You know, they haven't actually played in the full stadium yet. And so I think until that time when they can actually fill that stadium and get some income from there, then they can really inject it into the squad. But I know that they don't have like debt where they need to sell players to pay off the stadium because we waited so long. We done the stadium build over 10 years or something like that. It's not like, it wasn't a quick thing. You wanted to do it without we're still being competitive. You didn't want to do it like Arsenal. I would say that Arsenal done it. Then for a few seasons, they couldn't buy anybody. But I think Levy he's showed now this season, we gave Mourinho money. We bought quite a few players. So there is money there. But he wants a manager he can trust. And I think he put his faith in Mourinho more than Pochettino now. Pochettino was a bit disappointing towards the end, just before he left. I loved him when he was there. He was great. But the team did drop off a lot. And the biggest disappointment for me was the Champions League final lost to Liverpool. Liverpool was didn't play that well in that game. And I think they were there for the taking. But Spurs didn't step up either.
Yeah. Thanks, Liverpool.
They won with VAR with a silver handball.
Right, VAR.
Craig, what was the score against United?
Hey?
What was the score against United?
6-1. At Old Trafford. There's my sister commenting. Old Trafford.
Okay, how many titles does Man United have and how many titles does Liverpool have? Oh, Shaun, I think you...
Are we talking...
Nigel, that's my sister.
We've got 19 leagues and they got 20 leagues. But in that time, we became champions of Europe 6 times.
That's more than United.
Yeah. United shame, you know what? I'm going to say something about United. United shame, I was there in those years where they tormented me. And they are not that team anymore. And that's they are just not that team anymore. Everybody's waiting for United to win 6th or 7th. Genuine, they just, I don't know where they come on that. Okay, I'm going to give you an example. Europe, Champions League, I think they didn't deserve Champions League. They on top of the group stage, right? They on top of the just to qualify for Europa. That is Manchester United.
We're gonna go to West Ham and Spurs. I want to talk about this game and the manager that's currently at West Ham, right? Rodney, you would know about him. He done well at Everton. He went to United, didn't do that well, but now he's actually doing quite well, very well actually. I'm quite surprised that he's actually doing quite well at West Ham. So Craig, I think this is going to be a tough game though. You guys, West Ham is on form.
Definitely going to be a tough game. Because last time, if you remember, we played them at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And we were leading 3-0
3-3.
81st minute. and we ended up drawing the game 3-3. It's probably the worst game that I've watched this season of Spurs. So you can't underestimate them. They will keep going to the end because it's a London derby. So they really go all out against any other London club they play against. They play Arsenal, they play Chelsea. So against us, it's always a tough game. It's always like an FA Cup final type of game. And I think we need to take our chances. We should have put that game last time to bed in the first half already. And we wasted chances, and they came up with some free kicks and an own goal, and another free kick right at the end. But yeah, they can. They will push to the end. They've got dangerous players, and they will keep fighting. They play a bit of a scrappy game at times, but I think it'll be a tough game. It's difficult to call.
Now, the Chris asked a question. He asked, where's Bale?
Playing golf.
Hy lees seker, Craig, ek dink hy lees seker nie, ja. Hy vra waar is Bale?
Look here.
Harry Bale.
I must admit, I expected much more from Bale, obviously, this season. When we signed him, I thought, here's now a top signing. I didn't expect us to sign him. But then, people select Mourinho for not playing him, not giving him game time. But the fact is, when he did play him, he played like he's playing a friendly. He doesn't run, he doesn't chase, he doesn't take on people, he passes sideways, passes back. You expect him to take on people, like Son is doing, like Kane is doing, like even Lamela does, and Lamela's not even that great, but at least he tries to take people on. So, but the last few games that I've seen of Bale, I know it was against weak opposition last night. He played nice yesterday. And in the game that came on the weekend against City, he had one chance which he took a shot. He showed some intent. He showed that he can actually. He's maybe trying now. I don't know if it's an attitude change. We spoke to Mourinho about it, but I'm hoping that he's gonna do much better at the end of the season.
The Chris asked a question. He's
the Bale tournament.
I think he's one of the biggest sponsors.
I think the Chris. I think it's Craig Fember.
Agree.
In Joburg.
So guys, now there's two players of Spurs. I would, if someone gives me money, if I was a coach, I was a manager of a club, and someone, maybe Man City's owner, and someone give me about 200 million, I would rate these two players as Spurs. And I'm sure Liverpool and Everton or any other club.
Oh, definitely. I'll take Son any day.
So
they've got the most assists for the season.
They're the best. At the moment they are the best. I think partnership in the world at the moment.
Combination wise,
combination wise, they're the best in the world.
Combination.
There's other top players if you look at, like, obviously Mbappe and you got Lewandowski and all of them, but they are on their own.
Just stop there. I'm not gonna mention Mbappe's because I don't even Messi titles. Players that came to England and didn't make it.
Yeah,
I can mention one player went to Chelsea, Shevchenko. If you guys remember, he came from Milan. When he came to Chelsea, nothing happened. He wasn't that
weak.
good. As many players coming to England that does not make it. So I'm not going to put Mbappe in there. I know he's a brilliant player. I know he's got talent. But England changes players. England can take your stardom away easily.
Yeah. So, Nigel Son. Son came to Spurs. Son came to Spurs from Bayern Leverkusen. And his first season, he didn't do that great at Spurs. And apparently, he actually asked to leave after the first season. He said he's not feeling it yet in the Premier League and it's too tough. And they convinced him to stay. They said, don't worry, a lot of foreigners take time to adapt and he must just give it another season. And then he stayed on. And he's been there now 6 years at Spurs. And look what he's like one of our best players, obviously. So I was very happy that he stayed there. But like you say, not everybody can adapt. And even look at Liverpool, we'll say, Shaun will say the same, but Thiago Silva, not Thiago, sorry. Thiago, the midfielder.
Alcantara.
Yeah, Thiago. I mean, he's a top player.
Yeah, but his age is against him.
Yeah, but now, and his injuries also over the seasons,
Can I say something about Thiago? Thiago, besides giving him more time, the thing is, with Thiago in mind, they thought Van Dijk we were going to have a backline.
That's
right?
the thing, yeah.
And because our whole look, for me, Liverpool is doing so. For me, I think we're lucky to still be in the top half because we've literally lost most of our players, right? And because of COVID and because and all that stuff. But Thiago, give him some time, and when our backline is there, I think we must give him a chance, man. Like, I know a lot of Liverpool supporters won't agree with me, but I must give him his fair due to put him in a team that's whole,
Yeah.
And you can see some brilliance in him, but I get what you're saying, Craig.
No, but I agree with you, Shaun. I agree with you. My brother's a Liverpool supporter as well, and I agree with you. When he came there to Liverpool, I said this is going to be someone's going to take you to that next level. And it's just unfortunate, obviously, that Van Dijk and others went out because it throws the whole balance of the team out. So now, because his job is to play from the back, to control, but now he's got to really help out defense. So it changes everything. Henderson is now dropped back and everything like that. So, like, I agree with you. You have to see him in the full team and then to see his performances over a few games. But he's a top player. I mean, we've seen it at Bayern Munich, how he spreads all around, and even at Barcelona before. So I think definitely it's only his first season. You can't judge him by this few games now.
Yeah, now, Craig, look, I just want to discuss with everyone about the star players. At Everton, Scarra, you would know Calvin Lewin is basically one of the best strikers in the Premiership at the moment. We talk about Kane, we talking about Song, we talking about at Arsenal. Okay, Aubameyang to sign a new contract. We talk about Saka. All these youngsters are players that are doing well. But for me, can clubs basically keep them? Like at Tottenham, Kane and Song is not winning trophies. They're gonna get frustrated. At Everton, Calvin Lewin, I know he's coming up now, Scarra. But if a bigger club, okay, Craig, I'm not saying that you're a small club. If a bigger club that wins trophies, like a Man City, a Liverpool, you guys know City likes to steal players because they got the money, they can do it. But if you think you will, can you hear me?
No.
What did you say?
Lost you now.
What my question is?
I lost you.
Yeah. My question is, to get these players, that is big players for their clubs, right? Now they're not winning trophies, these clubs. Do you think if City comes for Calvin Lewin, do you think you will go?
Yeah.
I think so.
I think he'll. It's money at the end of the day.
You see, ultimately, every player in that Premier League, they want to win trophies, and secondly, they want to play Champions League. That is a given. That is what I want to do. So you talk about City. City has come in for Julian Lescott a couple of years ago. They took him. They came in for John Stones. They took him. So what has happened? They've won trophies and they've played Champions League. Same has happened to Lukaku. Same has happened to all these other players, and it's going to happen all the time. We've already had rumors that James Rodriguez is now all of a sudden the man kry koud in England. After we unveiled him, after we unveiled him into the city, we had statues and all this goodness made for James Rodriguez. Now you hear rumors. Now remember, these are things you hear, and we don't know how much substance there is. But you hear that the man is not coping and the game is too physical. Meanwhile, he was a reserve at Real Madrid. He never played. But he came into England, all the hype. But now you hear these type of things. And like you say now, if someone comes in for DCL for Calvin Lewin, he might not cut it at City. He might do well, but he's going to be playing with quality players. Not saying that we don't have any, but he's going to be managed by a manager that's going to just feed him all the time. All he's going to do is feed him. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin is not the finished article yet. There is still a lot of things that he needs to learn. He's a box. What Ancelotti's got into him is to be in the 18-yard or in the 6-yard area. And he's very good in the air. But there are other aspects of his game. The same with Richarlison. He frustrates the living hell out of me. I'm just glad for one thing that Alan is back tomorrow, who's been one of our players of the season. And, of course, Michael Keane is back in defense. Jerry Mina's injured again. But, yes, it doesn't always happen where a player leaves a struggling club to do well at another club. Unless there's quality around him where he becomes a first-choice player. But, yes, when a player goes, his head gets wobbled. And it can. You remember these Twitter and these social pages, and that is how Lukaku was poached by Pogba. Remember that a couple of years ago? They went on this Instagram and all on social media talking about how they are going to move in the off-season. So those are things that we need to guard against also, man, because it happens, Okay, so, but unfortunately, it happens.
Wolfie,
Yes, sir.
before I come to Craig, Tottenham Hotspur has overtaken Arsenal in the league, right? Why? Look, it's frustrated for any Arsenal supporter. If you mention that, Arsenal supporters always say that Tottenham Hotspur they are in Arsenal's shadow, but they have overtaken Arsenal for many years in the league. Obviously, Spurs are lacking a bit silverware, but I do believe it's coming. But do you think, Wolfie, look, you have a lot of opinions about things, and everyone's opinions is right, because, everyone has their own opinion, even if you get upset with each other. That's just the love of the game. It's the passion. But do you think Arteta is the right man to... Let's not talk about the league. Let's not talk about winning the league yet. That is another boat on its own. Let's talk about, do you think that Arteta can bring Arsenal, can overtake Spurs again? Because if you overtake Spurs, that means you will make the top four.
I'm looking at the log, and they're like 2 points. There's a 2-point gap. Spurs hasn't been doing well of late. So look, this season is still very much open. Arteta, he seems to be the right guy, because there's a lot of positives than negatives that is shown, and you can see things is changing. The way we've been playing, our pressing, there's a lot of change from the Wenger era that you can see a big difference. Our defense has improved. It's just small little things. We might be short two quality players to come in. But yeah, look, Arteta is the guy. I wouldn't say Spurs has overtaken us. They've had a couple of good seasons in the past, and that's it. They haven't won. Have they won anything? No, they haven't won nothing. Until they win a couple of league titles, maybe then we can entertain that debate again. But as far as overtaking them, yes, of course we can overtake them.
Wolf, did you know that Spurs got more European trophies than Arsenal?
I don't think he knew that.
Are you talking about the time when Coca-Cola, when it was called the Coca-Cola Cup?
No. Spurs won two Europa Leagues.
Two European leagues.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you must understand how guys was at the World War II at that point, man. Come on, man.
If the viewers don't know, there are teams like Aston Villa, two Champions League titles.
Same with Nottingham Forest also.
Forest, titles. So there's a lot of clubs that we call small, that won Champions League titles.
They got major history.
We got Arsenal, which I support, got no Champions League titles and no Europa League titles. So my question to you, Wolf, before we're gonna last 5 minutes, before we're gonna come to the prediction of the scores, Wolf, if Arsenal has no European titles, right? They have European title, 2 European cups, but that was like Cup Winners' Cups and Fair Cups. That was when he was still 5 years old. So, yeah, was nog by primary.
That time we were still playing with the Manchester United supporters.
The Arsenal supporters complaining about winning the Europa League.
So what is your question? Is I just
why is the Arsenal support they don't want to win the Europa League because they call it a small cup, but we have also has a lack of European titles.
Yeah, look, personally, I would love to win the Europa Cup. We did come close on a number of occasions. We played in the final. I think we lost on penalties against Galatasaray. And we also lost now recently against Chelsea, where we got hammered in that final. But yeah, of course, I would love a European trophy. Maybe this season might be our season. I mean, we got a good chance. There's still a couple of tough teams in that Europa Cup. If we manage to get past Benfica, we stand a good chance of winning something this season. I mean, all our eggs is now in one basket. So yeah, I'm hopefully I'm very positive. We might just win it.
Look at Craig. Craig is smiling. He's thinking, "What's I
mean,
this is our season, Wolfie.
Is it your season?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Europa League.
Let's just go through the questions of the viewers. Dennis, I'm Shaun. This is for you, obviously.
Yeah.
He says, look at what one Premier League title does to this council.
Look, this season is totally different to any other team that had to defend a title. This season is totally different. Totally different. That's all I'm going to say.
Here's another question, Shaun. Craig. Talk a lot about United.
United's a joke of the town. Everybody knows they're there, but they're going to fall. It's like a Kuiper.
Someone agreed with Craig Honey. Hulle is hartseer.
What's that?
I'm just reading the questions. Here's one. Here's from Quentin Cornelius. Liverpool's second come to end of the season. Only City is better this season. Obviously, everyone knows that, though.
Quentin.
I doubted Liverpool's going to come second, though. I really think they're not going to make top 4.
Oh.
That's my bro, my little bro.
Possible that we're going to come second.
The Greece says, Wolf, also on paper will beat any team. Their players lack passion.
I think it's
what did he say? Arsenal on paper will beat any team. Their players lack. What's he actually saying? Lack passion.
Yeah, that's what he says. So
consistency will take time.
Now, Scarra and Shaun,
Yep.
Merseyside derby predictions.
I'll let Scarra go first.
Scarra's blast must team.
I want another bumpy, man.
So viewers, if you guys want bumpies, Scarra sells bumpies for bulk. You got apple flavor, strawberry, lychee flavor. So
watermelon.
Let's get your prediction.
brother, I'm gonna stick my head out, and I'm gonna go for a. It's gonna be high scoring. I would say 3-2. In the favor of the Blues. We've got Allen back, and we've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin back. I think Fabinho's out for Liverpool tomorrow. I'm not too sure about the correction.
He's out. He's just
So I'm gonna stick out my head out. Let's go for a 3-2 away win. It's gonna be a bit of a shock result for many, but it's not going to be a surprise to many as well. Sorry, Shaun.
No, I'm gonna say 2-1 Liverpool. But
Why is that so softly? 2-1 to Liverpool.
no. Look,
Never work alone.
I want us to win. Look, that is my honest opinion. I want us to win, right? If Everton gets 1 goal, it's gonna be 2-1.
You come on.
But if we don't make mistakes, we at that sensitive stage, man, where I can't be confident enough to say that Everton is not going to bring it. But I want one. That is my prediction.
What is your prediction?
There's going to be a lot of goals. Definitely a controversial game. 1 or 2 cards in it. Goals. Who knows? VAR might come out again.
Scarra, I must say something. I hope they don't. Because of the last time, the decisions and all that. They don't hold that against Everton tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I feel like
I'm not sure
the referee has to make up for what he's done on the last game, and I hope that doesn't happen.
Who's refereeing the game, by the way? I'm not sure. I haven't seen anything.
Let me just check.
Because that plays a big role.
Yeah,
that plays a big role. I mean, as much as we want to deny it,
a fair game, but also give that the referee must be lenient. It's a derby.
The thing is, allow for tackles to people to get stuck in. That's it.
There we go. That's it. Allow that, but the referee must be lenient. I don't want anybody to be sent off because it's a derby game.
And when we consider corner, it's all for goal for you.
So, Wolf.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's keep City last because they're Sunday. Craig, West Ham away. What is your prediction?
We're also playing Sunday, but we're playing early game. I'm gonna go with a win for us. I'm being optimistic, so I'm gonna say 3-1. 3-1. I think we also on a roll, but even Bell scored yesterday, so maybe Bell is back.
Wolfie.
Okay. Kane is back.
Can I give my Liverpool prediction? Liverpool Everton. Okay, Liverpool Everton. I'm going to go with a 2-1 to the Toffees. Alisson to score the winner there. Okay, West Ham Spurs. I'm going to go with a solid 2-1 to the Hammers. This is not your season. You're gonna be looking like that at the end of the game. Don't worry. The mighty Arsenal versus the Sky Blues, the blue side of Manchester. I'm going with a 2-1 to the mighty Arsenal. I think we got enough in our tank. So just to give Shaun a little bit of hope, I'm going to go with a victory for Arsenal. Yes, sir.
Giving the United fans a bit of hope.
You're giving United, but we know United.
Shaun said earlier that they're going to finish second, so I don't know about United here.
Holding up the spot there.
I don't think United. I think United's gonna fall down to the log. I think
10 points gap. They got a 10-point gap.
Look. I don't think Ollie is the right guy for trophies. I think he's doing well, but I don't think he's gonna win any trophies. I'm sure the viewers probably gonna send me messages to talk nonsense about United, but you can get me some other time. But I will tell you in your face, you guys are not gonna win trophies. Craig, what is your prediction with Arsenal versus City?
Arsenal versus City. Where is it at
And-
Arsenal's ground, eh?
Look,
Emirates.
be honest,
Emirates.
Craig. It doesn't
Emirates.
matter where they don't have a home ground.
Yeah, it's true. Eh? I mean, 17 wins in a row.
Never been a fortress.
I don't think Arsenal's not going to stop them. I think City will win comfortably. Probably 3-0.
Barry says City to break your heart, Wolfie.
Sorry, Wolfie.
You owe me a beer. You owe me a beer. We're gonna beat them.
Everton is going down tomorrow 2-0 to Liverpool. Wayne
Well
Taylor.
done, Wayne. Well done, Wayne.
Yeah, we all have our issues. Shane.
Why, guys? I know we over the time, but why supporters never will say the team's gonna lose?
Yeah, but we can't. How can you say that? It's
It
like
wouldn't make us
No,
support this.
exactly.
watching that and saying, I might
The
be-
only look, I'll be honest. The only place where people is honest about the teams is on Facebook. Just check Facebook. Did you see that
No,
people that
they're not
support
there.
the team will say we're gonna lose today?
That's plastic supporters, man. They glory hunters, glory seekers. You must believe in
Now,
your team.
Shaun, do you know any plastic supporters?
Oh, definitely.
You
There's
can
a lot
say
of-
name.
What is plastic? What is
No,
plastic?
don't say
What is
that.
the
They're
definition of plastic?
glory hunters, man. They're glory hunters. They basically,
Up.
when your team win, and then
Yeah.
the Liverpool supporters, the minute they lose, Liverpool is this, Liverpool is that, but not taking into consideration everything. You know what I'm saying?
You know-
Like every aspect of why and that. And on that, City is the only team that's thriving because they're the only team that, because their support level is the same. You must remember.
Hey, you talking about support? I was trying to find a supporter with a jersey
No,
for 2 weeks.
No, you won't. They don't have supporters.
No,
That's what
that's what I'm
There
saying.
is a handful. It's a handful here in Cape Town.
No, there's no handful. It's only Shamil Sonny. Shamil
Is he a
Sonny is the
teenager?
only
Nigel.
supporter in Cape Town.
Is he a teenager?
Nigel, there's actually quite a few of
You must be a
older
teenager.
guys. Your 50-year-olds,
Yes,
your plus 50s. They
Yeah,
are
that's the
no.
real supporters, yeah.
There's quite a few. There
But
are
you
quite a
see,
few.
the real
The old
supporters.
guard.
But Ronnie, they're not on Facebook.
Listen, let me just tell you a joke quickly, man. Whenever we always look for support. You look for a jersey. So a couple of times on the R300, on the N1, or on the M5, or you see Oak with the Everton jersey, you fucking stop the car and you say, brother, come, you just hug him. Where have you been?
Shane says, why does Shaun feel like a different season as to defending the title? Real champs will fight again. Unfortunately, Liverpool is a one-hit wonder.
That's my cousin. Take it easy on him, man.
No,
That's my cousin.
Look, if we really look at it, man, this season has been very difficult in a sense, especially for Liverpool. And
Is
everybody
it
knows it.
difficult before winning?
No, look, man, we've done well with what we have because I feel that the players we've lost, we had to be in the bottom. And where we are, I think I count ourselves lucky to where we are and what Jurgen Klopp has done and what we have gone through. If for argument's sake, yes, the pandemic, yes, there's a lot of changes, and with that, a host of injuries. Basically, our whole team was injured. So, excuse aside, I'm happy where my team is right now, and this is a funny season. Everybody was on top. You never know, City might not be on top.
Sorry, everyone was on top. Wolf.
Most
I don't
No, but
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
like majority of the top 10 was on top. Each one.
Look,
Everything was on
at
top.
the-
So
as John Barnes has said it, he said, you can't have one star player in your team. You have to have a collective of good players, match winners, and Liverpool can't look back at losing one player that they now lost the league. That shouldn't be the excuse. They still have a very, very good front line. They got the best. For me, they're up there with Man City. Where you're talking about front line, your front three. They are still there. None of them has got as they've still been playing together. They're still scoring goals. So if you can't look at one guy. Your centre back has been injured. Yes, Matip has been a couple of weeks out. Gomez has also been out now for quite long. But yeah, but at the end of the day, you guys are still a very, very competitive team, very strong team, and capable of always of taking 3 points on any given day. Yes, teams might just take advantage of your defense, but your defense does win games, but so does your attack. You need a good attack to win games. And I mean, City has shown us how strong they are. They're playing without strikers. They're playing with midfielders that's dominating every game. And they're winning games. And they're not just winning games, they're winning it convincingly. I mean, let me tell you, I'm going to give you one. I'm going to give you now one.
You got 10 seconds, Wolf.
I got 10 seconds. Okay, I'm going to tell you this. Arsenal won the league in 1990-1991 season. Their captain, Tony Adams, was jailed for 4 months during that season. We won the league.
Okay. So, guys, what we normally do on the show, we support small businesses. Okay, Footy Express support small businesses. So if you all the viewers there, if you have a small business or supporting small businesses and small businesses, so you can send your flyer. We got the guy here, Graham Julie. He makes optimums. Look, I know there's only Liverpool and United ones on there, but they actually can make any team. So Scarra, die goed is baie mooi. Craig, he makes Spurs, anything. Kaiser Chiefs, what is? There we go, a cushion. That's
Yeah, that's nice.
a slab gel.
That's my pompie onder.
So, Graham Julie for his business there. We also got Sebastian, guys. Please, Sebastian promoting that you must wear your mask, your gloves, you must buy thermometers for your temperature. He has some bulk prices there as well. We have more here. Just want to get there. Okay, so guys,
Nigel, can you? Sorry,
yes.
Nigel, can you WhatsApp those contact details to us personally on our WhatsApp?
I will send you the flyers.
Yes, please.
I've got another one, guys. If you guys going on a date maybe soon with your wife or your girlfriend, girlfriend. Here's another one. It's called Eve and Steve. So, Shaun, as jy nie geld het nie, dan kan jy altyd jou kaart gebruik. So you can
Rodney, Scarra, there's a wash and blow treatment for you, eh?
Guys, so you can pay with the Visa card. You can pay with your Visa card here.
Trump and flat eye.
So Shaun, these are baie duur haircuts because it come with interest. If you want to do your hair there, you can pay it off for 12 months with your RCS card, and you can pay with your Visa card. As jy nie geld op het jou en jou sakkie, dan kan jy altyd maar vir. So we got another one. I think let me just get this. Okay, guys. This is so here's another one, the massage. Okay, it's Bloom, Skin and Beauty. Okay, guys, I'm not sure about this price here on the Bloom flyer, but you guys can contact her for prices. She's quite good. It's another friend of mine's business. There's another business, A&R Projects. I'm not sure what it's probably to do with home improvement or construction. But obviously, guys, I have the numbers there. Viewers, you can always take the numbers down, or you can ask me for these flyers. I can send it to you guys. So Scarra, as your business for your bumpies, you can for your nice flyer for your bumpies. I can set op die show sit.
Ja, laat ek eers te praat met die motsie man, want sy het nou weer ander move aan. Sy het nou weer gesien ek praat hier van even Steve.
Okay, guys, here he was on our show, Lyle Peters, professional football player. He obviously played overseas and obviously in our local leagues. He works for Weigels. Weigels is in Strandfontein. I'm not sure what's the road's name, but you know at the back. If you go to Pavilion, ons gaan nie oor Pavilion praat, but there's our areas daar by die pad. Guys, if you want to play fives, contact Lyle Peters at Weigels. You can also Google, you can check on Facebook for the contact details. It's a lovely, you can buy there, you can,
it's a YMCA. It's at the YMCA, I think.
There we go. There, yeah, he took a selfie of it. This guy
I think it's at the YMCA. I'm not too sure.
I'm not sure. This guy look like Shaun.
No, that's not me.
I think I have a last one. Now that's all. Okay, guys, thank you very much for being on the Footy Express show. I enjoyed myself tonight. Good luck for your teams the weekend. We will talk about again about games, about your teams again in the next show. So I'll let you know when you can will be on the show. Wolfie, Shaun, Craig, Scarra, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. All the viewers, if you want to be on the show, contact me wherever over the world. I don't care if you're in the UK, in the States, or where India. Please contact me. We'd love to have you on the show. We had Patricia from Nigeria was on the show last night. Also supporters to contact me. And yeah, we are show from Cape Town, South Africa. Thank you, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
Cheers.
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 Cheers, guys.
Bye-bye.